Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. I hope you're fans of All Elite Wrestling because today we are going to be unboxing not just Ray Fenix and Pentagon Jr., not just Dustin Rhodes and Jon Moxley, not just Adam Page and MJF. Oh wait, yeah, that is it. So what I'm going to be doing here is taking a look at the packaging, at the boxes, and then we'll have a little cut where I will go to the figures opened up and we'll talk about them, because I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch me open up 6 figures. That would be ridiculous. But we are going to take a look at each and every one of these. First up, my personal favorite AEW guy, Hangman Adam Page. Big fan of his work. He looks like he's fighting when he's in the ring. He's got a great look. He's serious. I think he could lay off the alcoholic gimmick a little bit. Not so much into that. But everything else about Adam Page, very, very cool guy. I think he's got a big future. I'm excited to open this one up. You can see right here on the back, Series 2 Unrivaled Collection. And also, I like this. They note what this look is from. So you can see this is from AEW All Out, August 31st, 2019 in Chicago, Illinois. This is before AEW launched Dynamite, the Wednesday night TV show that I'm sure you'll be watching tonight, the night this review posts. Side of the box, I like the little graphic with his picture. This is number 11. And then on the other side, you've got a little letter here where you line the boxes up and it says something. And I'm not going to repeat what I discovered this to say. I'm going to say that this series is probably This Is, and then the next series will say something else. I love this packaging, though. This gold foil at the top looks really classy. It's very reminiscent of the Jakks Classic Superstars line. Just looks great. I like it. MJF, one of the best heels in the business right now. I'm a big fan of his work. This whole wave was a must-have for me. This one is from AEW Double or Nothing, May 25th, 2019 in Las Vegas. But just this whole wave of figures is so strong. I was so excited to get it. It's a big chunk of my favorite parts of the AEW roster. Of course, the champion, Jon Moxley. Looking great in there. This is from AEW Revolution, February 29th, 2020, making this the most recent look that we've seen so far in Chicago, Illinois. Dustin Rhodes, I had the pleasure of interviewing him at Dragon Con a couple of years ago, and he is just as awesome as you'd think he would be. A true living legend in the business, and I love that we're getting a different look. You know, as many figures as this guy has had, this look is so radically different. I think it's very cool that we've got it. And of course, this is from Dynamite, October 9th, 2019. I believe that was the premiere episode of Dynamite. And then finally, the Lucha Brothers, who I was a fan of from their work in Lucha Underground. I think Pentagon Jr. is one of the coolest guys in the business right now. If you haven't seen his stuff in Lucha Underground, go back and watch it. He's done some cool stuff. He and Phoenix both have done some cool stuff in AEW, but man, Pentagon Jr. in Lucha Underground is kind of one of my favorite things ever. And of course, we have here on the back, Double or Nothing from Vegas, May 25th. And what's interesting is it looks like this might be the Bucks gear from the first wave. I'm not positive. I wasn't paying attention to AEW at this point, I'll admit it. But they have won me over, and I am a fan now. And then finally, the other half, the Lucha Bros, Ray Fenix looking cool. Looks a little awkward in the box, though. Doesn't he look like he's a little uncomfortable? That's okay, though, because we're going to let him out in just a minute. And there it is, same event. Which I like that the looks for these guys match up. So we've got the Lucha Bros in their gear from that specific event. And like I said, if that's the Young Bucks from the first set, then we've got a full match already made in the first 2 series of figures. I think that's great. Now we're going to take a little cut and come back, and these figures are going to be open, ready to review. And now, with the help of Phantom Jr., all of these figures have been opened up, released from those boxes. This is AEW Unrivaled Series 2 from Jazwares, and we're going to take a look at each one of these figures individually. So let's put some of these guys to the side for right now, and we will focus first on our AEW champion, Jon Moxley. He's got his mean mug going on there. I really like the expressiveness of the faces here. I don't necessarily need like screaming faces or anything like that, at least not in these first waves or not for a character's first figure. But I do like some expressiveness because, you know, Moxley never just sort of stands there with no look on his face. He's always got something going on facially. It's one of the things that makes him such a good storyteller in the world of professional wrestling. So this face is great. Apparently this little wound right up here was inflicted some point before what this event or what this figure represents event-wise. So I'm fine with that. The hair looks great. Look at the sculpt on the hair. You can see the fade going up here. The paint gets a little bit darker, and he's got his bangs hanging down. Great beard stubble, or really more of a full beard. Just looks awesome. Look at the paint in the eyes right there. I think they've done a fantastic job making this figure look like Jon Moxley. And the heft of this figure is cool too. Like, it feels, I don't know, there's something that feels sturdy. It has substance to it. You can see all the detail on his pants there. All of this gold paint on the side on top of that sort of camo tie-dye, whatever it is he's got going on with his pants. I still haven't quite figured it out. But look, painted zipper on there. He's got the pockets sculpted on with this gold paint, whatever design is going on right there. Just tons and tons of deco work on this. Looks really fantastic. And then on the back, we've got the spray-painted Mox Vest. I think that looks great. But let's take that off and get a little closer look at it and at the rest of the figure. Not sure how tough that's going to be. There we go. All right, so just a little closer look at the vest. You can see, again, lots of detail sculpted in there. The collar, the pockets, just everything about it looks really great. I like this, and the spray-painted Mox on the back looks awesome. And then we have, of course, the AEW Championship. Now, I totally failed to notice when I reviewed the little bit of the bubbly Chris Jericho, which, by the way, go watch that review if you haven't, that I got one of the plates that's upside down. So I actually have two left side plates, and so this one looks like it's upside down. But fortunately, this Moxley came with another AEW Championship, and this one is correct. Looks beautiful, nice and shiny, just like the real belt. Nice paint on the AEW logos. I'm a big fan of this championship, so having an accurate toy representation of it is something I really like. This is cool. They did a good job there. And then finally, Mox himself. I love the articulation on these figures. The ratcheting joints that actually work really well. It's almost like bone crunching action again. Let's see if you can hear this. Ooh, gosh, that's not going to move. Let's try this one. You hear that? Oh, ripped his shoulder right off. Great double jointed elbows. I'm going to have to apply some heat. Oh, there we go. I always hate doing that live on YouTube or recorded on YouTube because you never know if an arm's just going to fly off and you're going to be like, oh, well, so much for that figure. I guess that's going back to the store. I love the torso joints. Look at this. The cut joint at the waist, not in the AEW line, buddy. You've got a great sort of ball joint here that gives you as much range as you really need, but doesn't look horrible when you turn it. I think this is a fantastic alternative to ugly waist cut joints, which, I mean, in this day and age, need to go away. And then this, I didn't know he had that tattoo. That's crazy. A little sigh right there. Maybe he's a little closet fan of Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. Who knows? And that's it. That's like the guy's only tattoo. That's kind of funny. But double jointed knees, great ankles, lots of range there. You know, I don't want to get too much into the articulation because you've seen it before, I'm sure. But I just want to get the point across that, one, the joints all move easily and work well, except for that right shoulder up there. But There we go. Just needs to be loosened up a little bit. It's a sturdy figure. I don't feel scared moving it around, posing it, letting the joints do their thing. And it looks like Mox. It's an awesome figure. Let's move on. Next up, Hangman Adam Page. Like I said, my favorite guy in AEW right now. I think he looks great. He's got an angry, determined expression on his face. Great beard, sculpted and painted. Hair looks good. Lots of deco or layers of paint here to give it sort of a lifelike look. He's got his vest with little designs up here on the shoulder, and then of course on the back, Hangman Adam Page with the horse. This is great. I really am a big fan of this guy, and I'm thrilled to have his figure. He's got the one elbow pad, the sort of thicker sleevish. Wristbands are painted on, or wrist tape rather is painted on, but it looks good. It's like a flat color that looks more like wrist tape. I like his big chunky boots here. This is going to be a stable figure. My gosh, his feet are gigantic. Wow. Looks good. Looks good. Let's get that vest off now, because what I want to see, vest pulls right off, and he's got his neckerchief, but look at the detail on that thing. Look at the skull painted on there. It actually says Adam Page on the side. This is straight out of the AEW shop or Shop AEW, whatever the website is. I'm sure you can go buy one of these right now. Look at that detail, though. That's just tremendous. And pop that head right back on, and he is ready to wrestle. He also comes with an alternate hand with the pointing finger, the gun finger, and then he's got his rope. Love to see a bull rope match at some point. Be very cool. Adam Page looks great. Same articulation as Mox. And look at this. The waistband on his trunks is actually sculpted. That's not just painted on. There's actually sculpt right here to give it like that, to give it the design, the look. Really, really impressive. I love what they're doing here. And look at the side of the knee pad. I just noticed that. I've got that design carried down from what was on the vest. Just awesome looking figure. They've done this guy justice, and I think that's great. All right, let's move on to the Weasley MJF. What a jerk. Look at that face. You know what MJF stands for? Major Jerk Face. Because look at that guy. You just want to smack him. Fantastic job on the hair. They've done such a good job with the deco on these heads. Getting the likeness, getting the details, the eyes, the lips, everything about him just looks great. The only thing that I would say about this MJF figure, which he comes with the little AEW microphone, I think one of these came with the bubbly set. I'm not positive, but you can never have too many microphones. If there's one thing Jakks Pacific has taught us, well, and Mattel for that matter, microphones, you need them. Trunks look great. Lots of detailed design right there. Got the MJF on the back. He's got the plaid design on the back of the knee pads. That's accurate. Boots look great. The only thing I would say is I wish that the scarf had a wire in it so that you could, because this is what a lot of companies do now with their soft goods, is they'll have a wire going through it so you can sort of pose it, and it would be nice to be able to secure it a little better on him. But I mean, it hangs well. It's the fabric works, the plaid looks good. It is not an accurate plaid, but that's because that plaid is from a specific designer and it has a copyright. So they can't just reproduce that plaid. Again, you got the painted on wrist tape, flat color. And look at that elbow pad. This is a different elbow pad from what Hangman had and from what we've seen in other figures in the line. So Jazwares is paying attention and giving guys the correct elbow pads and stuff. And it's details like that, to me, that make a big difference. And then right here, he's got his tattoo. I like the look of the tattoos on the AEW figures because real tattoos don't look like they were drawn on with a Sharpie. They're faded. They're under layers of skin. And I think Jazwares has done a good job of capturing that. So MJF looks like the jerk he is. Excellent work. I really love the fact that plaid's on the back of the knee pads there. All right, moving on to the living legend, Dustin Rhodes. Got the unpainted half of his face that looks just like the man. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the height of this figure, but I just want to tell you this. I interviewed him. He is 6'6" legit. He was taller than me. I'm 6'4". He is a big boy, so it is not wrong that his figure is a good bit taller than... Let's see, I'm not sure if you can... I don't know if the scale is going to show really well just here in video. There, you can tell he's a good bit taller than Hangman, but I mean, that's pretty accurate. Dustin Rhodes is a big dude. Fantastic. Look at the face paint. You've got the black and the red and the white. The hair painted on nicely, looks good. He's got natural going down the back of his gear. The tattoos, again, I love the way that they're doing these tattoos. They don't look like they're drawn on with Sharpie. Real tattoos are not the solid, bright black that you see on a lot of toy lines. They look like this. They look faded out. I think it's the way to go. Got the wrist tape, got the gloves. Just really look at the detail on his costume. Like, it's not just red stripes. They got all of that little detailing in there in the deco. Really, really impressive. Got natural down the back of the boots. On the side, little nod to his older days. The camera on the side. And then we've got Steer on the other side. Just great figure. And again, all that same articulation. Excellent, excellent work. Love this figure. This is, I can't say that a Gold Dust figure isn't a little more my favorite, but I don't know. This is a great Dustin figure, and it's clearly he's doing what he wants to do now. So that's always a cool thing. All right. Moving on to Ray Fenix. Oh, wait, we got to take a look at one thing. I just remembered. Okay, let's check this out, because this is a problem in these figures. That is no good. I can't go this whole review without mentioning that issue. That's really Phantom Jr. Tell me what you think of that. What in the world? Yeah, the what in the world is right. It's not so bad on the guys who are wearing trunks, but why in the world are guys with long pants cursed with these flesh-colored pegs? That's ridiculous. And that's easily the worst thing about the line. And especially when he's posed certain ways, certain figure photography, certain ways to pose him, that's going to be exposed and look terrible. All right. Sorry. Moving on. Otherwise, aside from those flesh-colored leg pegs, Ray Fenix looks fantastic. Again, the tattoos, I love the way that they're doing these. I think they look great. It's interesting that this one is specifically posed for the arm to line up like that. But whatever, you got to make choices there. You've got to figure out where you want them to look most right. And there is no right answer, really. So, if you want his tattoos lined up, he's just going to be standing like a kid wearing a winter coat. But look at the face sculpt. Look at the detail on the mask. This is all sculpted. This isn't just paint here. This is all sculpted detail all over this mask. Look at the teeth, the mouth. Just really, really excellent work on capturing his likeness under that mask. All of the tattoos are there. He's got the little ponytail type deal coming out of his mask. The gear, also tons of detail. I mean, they did not miss a beat here. Now, look, I'm not trying to say I know this gear from memory. As a matter of fact, I haven't even seen the event that this gear is from. But, I mean, look at that. It's not just silver flames. All those whirls and loops, the fingerprint look, whatever that is, all represented there. Absolutely phenomenal. Great. And he's got the kick pad boots. His very specific kick pad boots, by the way, with those sort of the lines in them, so you can see the very specific kind of padding that he's got. Just the care that has gone into these figures. I know there's a lot of talk about the line being laid and about everything that's been going on with the Unrivaled line, but you can see what they're putting into these figures. I think it's worth the wait for a line this good. And finally, we're going to wrap this thing up with Pentagon Jr. Now, I do have to address one other thing about the line. Originally, when we saw Pentagon and Ray, they had alternate heads, they had more alternate hands, more accessories, but you got to understand things, once they get down to pricing things, stuff falls by the wayside sometimes. So when you look at something like the boss fight Lucha Bros, and you see, oh, well, they come with all these extra heads and hands and accessories and stuff. Yeah, and they cost way more than $20. For $20, you've got to look at the quality of this figure and appreciate everything you're seeing here. This is all sculpt, you guys. This isn't just paint. This is all sculpt. Every bit of his gear is sculpted detail. It's really amazing. He's got the black on his fingers. He's got, of course, the sign, and then the alternate hand. That's just a sort of regular open hand. Got the tongue out, which, yeah, that's the one I would go with. If I'm only going to get one Penta head, that's the one I'm going to want. But I am sure we will see that other head at some point in the line. This is not going to be the only Penta figure that they do. He's got the great work with the knee pads going down onto the kick pads. He's got the kick pads with like the quilted look. All of this stuff is wrestler specific. They are going out of their way to give these guys as much tooling as they possibly can. It's not a matter of like, how many parts can we share? It's a matter of making these things as accurate as they can possibly be. His sort of loincloth type piece here. Soft plastic, not going to interfere with the articulation at all. Again, just absolutely amazing work. You guys, if you are a fan of wrestling figures, you got to pick up at least one of these. Find a guy you like, whether it's Cody or whether it's Dustin, maybe Moxley. If you're not a big fan of AEW, but you just like wrestling figures, you got to get one of these because these are game changers, 100%. They're the next level of wrestling figures. You get, and I like Mattel's Ultimate line. It's solid. There's nothing, they've done some cool stuff. But to me, these Unrivaled figures are better than Mattel's $30 Ultimate figures. Part of it is that waist joint right there. Part of it is this is truly Ultimate Articulation and the best representation of these characters. If you put an Ultimate figure beside these Unrivaled figures, I'm sorry, but they just don't hold up. You guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and keep coming back for more toy reviews here on the Needless Things YouTube channel.